spill. And I got this like really cool like creamy chicken soup thing that I wanted to try. So I'm trying to use ingredients that I'm not really used to using, so I wanted to kind of spice things up a little bit, no pun intended. So this soup I think is just going to be like one of those really kind of warm you up on a cold day, because it's been kind of cold and nasty here, because we think it's cold and nasty and it's like 70 out, okay? But anyway, so it's really simple. I'm starting with 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm just gently heating here. And once we get it rolling, I'll probably turn it up a little higher, like I always do. But I don't want to burn the butter till we're getting ready. So this chicken soup, one of the things I used to do and I kind of stopped doing, and that's why I'm kind of reel in some of the stuff I'm doing, is I went and got a rotisserie chicken. So all I do is I get it home from the store and let it cool enough that I can touch it, you know, peel the skin off, get all the meat off. And I was thinking I was going to get closer to a pound, and this is a pretty good rotisserie chicken, and all said and done I got about 3/4 of a pound, 12 ounces. That's fine. So then you throw it in the fridge, and I put it in a Ziploc bag. Got it out this morning and cut it. And the other thing you're doing while you're cutting is you're kind of going through making sure you didn't miss anything, you don't have any little bone pieces or something, or skin pieces that wouldn't be too great. And you're going to think this is kind of backwards, but I want to get the chicken heating in this butter. That's actually the first ingredient. Normally I'm always like trying to get the veggies in here cooking, but I want to heat up this chicken and get some of that flavor, be it the fat or the juice, whatever you want to call it. And this is just they call it original flavor. So it doesn't have a whole lot of seasoning to it, because I didn't really want it for this. I want my seasoning in it. Alright, I'm going to rock it up here a little bit. Just want to get stuff stirred around and heated up. And just so you don't scare your friends and family, kind of pick through the chicken, make sure it all looks pretty. And let me tell you, if you cool it first and then try to heat it up, it does not work. Or if you refrigerate it and then try to pick the meat off, it's a hot mess. So I always recommend. Oh yeah. So now I got some stuff. I got some action going on here. All right. So what's the next thing I want to do? So I need about 4 cups of my veggies, and I got the carrots, the celery, and the onion. And I usually have more onion. This is a whole onion that I chopped up. I got some carrot sticks left over from chicken wings last night. And I had some celery too. And so basically whatever portion you have, but I think the goal is, so I could sit here and say, oh, it's like a cup of that and 3/4 a cup of each one of these. That's really pretty close. But either way, you just want about 4 cups. So let's get that up. Onion. I hear it sizzling now. I can back that off here a little bit. And my carrots. If it had pepper in it, it'd be a miracle, right? Because that's 4. Now, this is actually going to cook down. I'm going to turn it down. This is actually going to cook down over time, so I'm not too concerned about getting everything. I just want to get it started, release some of that flavor. Woo. stove is angry today. I can smell that onion. Okay, everything's looking good. It's calming down. Yeah. We're gonna have some good stuff here. Alright. So while this is kind of steaming up and getting happy, what's the next thing I need to add? So, you'll laugh at me. I needed like 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, and the garlic wasn't so great. So there's like 3. Close enough. It's really not going to change the flavor profile that much. So I think we'll be okay, because, you know, I like my garlic, but can't use what I don't have. But it's funny, it was really good. The cloves I had were really good, so I was like, oh, we'll get a lot of flavor on that. That'll work. I'll just have to hop on my little bicycle and ride to the store. So like I said, we're just getting everything hot and steamy. Alright, so now what do I need to do? So, you've heard me say this 1,000 times recently, because this is like my coolest thing that I've learned, is I've got 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of flour, that burn my knee thing. And basically, I want to get this in here. Mix it up. So this is going to make kind of the roux thing, you know, going on. That kangaroo, or kanga and roux, or whatever that heck that was. Alright, move my mess. Let's get this stirring. Just want to get that butter melted and that flour starting to cook. And I really, you know, I think it's important. I really like getting all this veggie stuff in here, and just fine line sometimes between stew and soup, right? You know, I mean, there are times I want a cream soup and I don't want any lumps in it, and there are times I want all that good stuff in here. Okay, so everything got painted and coated, so it looks beautiful. So we've got a really simple flavor profile. I don't want to get it all complex, you know, like you see on TV, like, oh, you know, they have all this stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. Alright, so I got some fresh thyme left over, about a tablespoon, a little more, left over from something the other night. And it really does hold up well. You know, you pick it off the stem, throw it in a little Tupperware container, and in the fridge it goes. Next thing, a little black pepper. You know me and black pepper. Ooh, yeah. I have to add a little more later, I will. Okay. So before this gets cooked off into oblivion, now we gotta start with that liquid thing. Okay. So I got a lot of stuff in here, so I need 6 cups of chicken stock. Well, on TV, you know, they take out their big kitchen knife and slash the box open. I'm like, yeah, because they don't clean up the kitchen, right? They got people. I would get my butt kicked if I did that. Okay. So So far, this is like chicken soup, right? Nothing can be better for you. Come on, it's cold and flu season. But it's funny, that time's really coming out right now. Everything's nice and warm. And I just want, I mean, there's literally, if you think about it, there's like 2 tablespoons of flour in here. And that's not going to really affect the texture. It's just going to kind of give it that velvetyness. I don't know. One of these days I got to replace this because it's making noise. It rocks. These grates have been cooked. So, you know, right here you could call it a day and have soup, right? No, that's not the way I do things. I have to do things a little differently. Just want to get it all hot again. Room temperature. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty. I'll start to see some bubbles. It's just dancing, it's not bubbling yet, okay? So, you first start seeing those signs of bubbling. So one of the things that's cool about putting the chicken in there is it's going to kind of shred. So even though we put in chunks, just the stirring around, and that's why I think using rotisserie chicken really works out well. And my store, local grocery store, does a really good job. Man, it's taking longer than I thought. Well, anyway. Yep, there we go. Just starting to wake up this morning. But it smells really good. I mean, so you know, you have that onion, garlic thing. You're gonna have the sweetness of the carrots as you're eating it, and you know, celery gives a definite flavor. And then you have the thyme. Because if you've got the thyme, I've got the beer. Can't remember what commercial that was, but it's through one of the beer companies. If you've got the thyme, I've got the beer. Maybe it was Miller. I'll have to look that up. Wow. Yeah. Looking pretty. Looking pretty good. Alright, so what's the next step? So, I don't want to get this to a rolling boil because my next step is I need to put in 2 cups of half and half. So this is going to give it that creaminess, that extra creaminess. This is going to make a full pot. I'll be eating this all week. Can't complain. So let's get this stirring. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's totally changed it. Alright, so I'm going to get this to this little fine bubbles, and I'm going to cook it about a little more, pretty close to 10 minutes, because I do want to get all these flavors pushed together before we do the final step. So I'm going to watch this pot so it doesn't boil. I'll see you back in 10 minutes. So as you can see, it's a very gentle boil, which is a good thing. It's barely breaking the surface, and oh, guess what? It's almost time. This is all you really need. It's a really low simmer. Hey, this has been like 10 minutes of bliss, me just sitting here watching this. Really gentle simmer. I mean, there's just some steam rolling off. That's all I really wanted. Flavor profile is just like going crazy. That fresh thyme is really taking hold. And you know, So I made this morning. I'm gonna let it cool. It goes in the fridge, and that's gonna give it more time to just release all the oils from the herb. So I just think that's the way to go. All right. So 10 minutes of me sitting here stirring with my mouth watering, and it's a little crazy. So, what's something I've never talked about? Gnocchi. I couldn't even pronounce it when I was a kid. But basically, these are potato pasta, if you want to call it. It's in the dry pasta section. You can make it yourself. But I just want to get these in here. Oops. Ow. Watch out for the heat. Okay. Got them in there. I'm going to burn myself a little. That's right. Won't be the first time, won't be the last. So, these are a lot of fun. Basically what you do is you stir them until they start floating. And kick the heat up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, they're just in the dry pasta section, you know. It's really kind of cool. They're pretty easy to make. I'm sure I could, but you know, I hate ruining a perfectly good soup with me boring you making gnocchi. All right, so all I'm doing is letting them cook and absorb. Let this all. This is pretty thick soup, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to see them float. But it really only takes a minute or so. I think some of them are already starting to, yeah. They're already starting. And this is just a fun thing to make, you know. I try and make everything fun. Coming apart, they're all floating. Oh yeah. Got a couple clumps in them here. Gotta be gentle with them or they'll bust up, but after it sits here a minute, they'll be fine. Who wants soup? Sorry, I had to do that. Yeah, the ones that were stuck together are all starting to come apart now. Yep. Looking good. Seeing a lot of these little guys really come up. A couple more that just need a little encouragement. The big clumps of them I try and leave alone, but if you just have two, you can usually just kind of get the spoon in there and they'll separate right out. Yeah, all the gnocchi are definitely cooked. They've floated up and really looking good. So the last thing I want to do, I got me a bag of spinach. So we're going to add just a little kind of acid to this to offset all that. And it should wilt really quickly. Don't be afraid to push it down. Like I said, so we're just going to keep this flavor profile just like really cool, and we're going to give it some good color. Oh yeah. Just want to start to get this wilting. I got myself a pretty big pot of soup. I keep saying that, but let me tell you, I think this is the bomb. Just want to get the crunchiness out of the spinach and get a little of that flavor happening. And the soup is really changing texture from that gnocchi. I mean, this is just looking really good. Remember, don't be shy. If something you want to add to it for flavor, be my guest. But oh, look at that. We got ourselves a pot of goodness here. Oh, looks really good. Alright, so as you can see, everything's really hot. That spinach is wilted. Turn this off, get this dished up. Wow. Doesn't that look stupendous? Aren't you glad I made this? I really am. Alright, so what have we learned? We've learned that this is a really easy, great dish that you're going to just fall in love with, hopefully. Like I said, we kept the flavor profile really calm. That's all we needed. And once again, I'm drooling over it. Basically, you can set this aside, let it cool. You know, learn this in the restaurant business because you have to be careful. That danger zone is put ice water in your sink, plunge it right in there and get that temperature dropped really quickly. That's what you should do, get it in the fridge. And then obviously you want to heat it up real slow. You don't kind of put it on a high heat and boil it all over the place. So anyways, appreciate you guys. Hope you love this stuff. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Give me suggestions. Really appreciate you. And I'll be back with some other great recipes, and I'll see you later. Have a great day.